to Mighty Empire Movie Reviews. This time, I've decided to take a break from video game-based movies and move on to some other potent and profound cultural force. Japanimation-based movies. The Japanimation, like it or hate it, it's an important cultural force nowadays, and especially amongst the gamer and geek communities. And I guess Hollywood thinks if video game movies are going to make money, then live-action Japanimation-based movies are going to make even more money. But, so that leads us to today's film. Live-action Fist of the North Star. Let me just give you a warning right here. The last two movies were pretty bad, but not horribly bad, video game-based movies that are actually watchable. And even if they're not really fun to watch, they're short enough. However, this one is pulling out all stops. It is painful. It is one of the more painful movies I've ever seen. Yeah, I've seen much worse movies in terms of acting, in terms of special effects, in terms of directing, editing, those kind of things. But this one is just so long and so pointless, and oh, it's painful. So just be glad I'm reviewing it so you don't have to watch it. But I don't know why this movie was made. It's based off of a Japanese animated television series and then a movie made in the 1980s called Fist of the North Star, or Hokuto no Ken. And that series was about a post-apocalyptic world where martial artists rule over the weak, and that some hero named Kenshiro goes around protecting the weak by killing the bad guys. And he does this by rapidly conducting a series of karate chops on the enemies, going and then their head promptly grows really big and then explodes in a cloud of gore. At least that's what I can tell from YouTube videos. I haven't actually seen it. But even though I haven't seen this movie, I can assure you the anime version is better than the live-action version. And you will say this too, even if you hate anime. Because, frankly, anything could be better than this live-action version. Where do I begin? I don't know. Let's begin with the hero, Kenshiro. He's got a Japanese name, but he doesn't look Japanese. He's always got this vacant stare in his eyes, like this. Like he's always horrified. And he talks in a really bad, lame British or Australian accent. I don't know. He sounds like, Southern Cross and North Star must never fight! And he says that line about 10 times during the film, and it doesn't really do any good. But, although he's the hero, he doesn't actually get much screen time. The main character of the film is some nameless henchman of the real villain. He's not, nobody knows what his name is, but he's easily identifiable because his face is covered in duct tape. And the reason for that is Kenshiro at some point in the past hit him with his flurry of karate chops, and his head was about to explode, but he found some duct tape and managed to fix the problem. So, but he's just a minor henchman of the main villain, but he gets almost all of the screen time. And, you grow to hate this character, not because he's so evil, but because he's so annoying. Almost every line out of his mouth is some babble, insane babble that's supposed to show how evil he is. He always talks about how he's going to kill people, murder people, rape people, and how much he's going to enjoy doing it, but he never kills anyone. In fact, he keeps the main characters alive long enough for the hero to get his lazy butt over there and start helping out. But getting less attention than both of these characters is the main villain, whose name is Lord Shin, and who's sits in a throne and talks about progress a lot in some bad attempt to be topical. I don't know, but the evil villain's wife and Kenshiro's love interest is this Julia, I think her name is, and she's played by a Japanese woman who, although her lines are in English, you can't understand what she's saying. And she's not a very good actor either, and her lines consist of such things as "I love Kenshiro, Kenshiro, Kenshiro." But anyway, why is this movie so bad? Because it's so long and because so little happens during its long running time. Most of the movie, more than half, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, revolves around a simple peasant scavenger village in the middle of some desert, which is obviously a mock-up model of a desert, where a bunch of multi-ethnic people are eking out in existence. And then all of a sudden Tapehead and his evil villains come along, and they spend several scenes driving around the village in bikes, killing people, and laughing to show how evil they are. And where's Kenshiro? He's off on the other side of the planet, mumbling about his destiny and talking with his dead father. And his dead father keeps telling him that he must fight because he is the greatest martial artist left on planet Earth. And he keeps saying he doesn't want to fight. And although he doesn't want to fight, he still makes martial arts poses every 5 minutes, or every... I don't know if he's in the movie for 5 minutes. I think that's an exaggeration. But and then we go back to the village. The village has been taken over because the peasants can't resist. And so Tapehead basically threatens to kill them and execute them. And he does so for at least an hour. There's this little girl who the hero has to protect, who Jackal attempts to kill several times, but he never goes through with it. He saves her from an execution a few times, and he basically keeps her alive until the hero has an epiphany, and he decides he finally has to go to this one village, apparently the only village in the whole world because it gets so much attention. And he single-handedly beats up all the bad guys in the village, who apparently can't decide whether they're bikers or whether they're mafiosos or whether they're soldiers, because there's some of them in military uniforms with guns and some of them without guns, and it's really confused. But one thing we are sure about them is that they're evil, because the movie spends so much time and energy trying to hammer into our heads that the Southern Cross Empire is evil. You know, their flag is an inverted cross and a very subtle hint that they're evil. And they also have to laugh at killing people and scream and yell and threaten people and stuff like that. And we eventually, when you get to the point that you see Tapehead rambling about something, you hit the fast forward button, because it's just so tiresome.